Hi, this is Sergeant Beast Larson. I've been talking about the correctional system being broken. I want to tell you about my first day as a correctional sergeant, because the incident happened early that morning, my first day as a sergeant, that was set up by the captain, the same captain that put a hit on me in a different video I talk about. So remember, just to recap, I'm former military, I'm retired police. I was working in corrections down at Hays State Prison. I was one of the CERT team members. A bunch of us tested for sergeant over a period of time, a year and a half, and we all promoted off. So I had experience, in uniform with the handcuffs and the badge, etc. My first day as a sergeant, and as a CERT team, we wore the CERT uniform, so I didn't have the regular blues. I had to wait a few days for week for that to come in. So I start off, I get assigned a tier at Hays State Prison, tier 2, and I'm in my CERT uniform. So all the inmates know, they're like, oh man, Larson got promoted, the Beast got promoted to sergeant. What's the world coming to, kind of thing. So I'm down there first thing in the morning. It's a weekday, so a lot's going on. We serve breakfast, there's medical calls, the telestat, psychology calls. Different things have to go on that morning. And then one of the things happening down in F building, in F2, I remember, one of the inmates was down in the cage and he was on the little tablet there with family. So I got a call over the radio, telling me that the inmate's refusing to leave. And also complaints from the nursing staff that he was making inappropriate comments to her. So I go down there with the dorm officer, just me and him, tell the guy, hey, you got to get out. He's running his mouth, doing everything. I said, hey, I'm not going to give you your tablet today. Tablet's mine, just leave it there. He didn't want to do that. He wanted to push the envelope. I said, turn around and cuff up. I don't want to start a big incident over a tablet. Okay, so he didn't give me the tablet. I'll get it a little bit later. Well, we'll deal with it at lunchtime or something, a more appropriate time. I was busy. I said, turn around and cuff up. He didn't want to cuff up. So he's not giving me the tablet. He didn't want to cuff up. Conversation, 2-3 minutes. I persuaded him. His best interest was to cuff up. He did. He turned around and cuffed up, tablet in hand. Okay. So he cuffs up, open the cage. We go to take him upstairs, up on the left side of F2. Anybody around Hays or Georgia prison kind of knows what that means. And this was a tall inmate. I'm 5'9". The other officer, young guy, was about my height. This inmate was about 6'3", 6'4". And guess what happens when we get him out and we start to walk over there? He's obviously got the tablet in his hand. I take the tablet, give it to the other officer. I'm holding him in the escort with his arm, put my hand back on the handcuffs, so I got an arm on the cuff, arm on the elbow of the inmate. He's trying to get away a little bit, start wiggling. I said, no, knock it off. We're going up to the thing. Going up to your cell, give the tablet back in a little bit. He said, no, you give me my MF and tablet now, kind of conversation. And he turned around like he's going to headbutt me. Well, being defensive tactics instructor for many years in police, and skilled a little bit in the fighting, I gave him a wall stun, spun him around, put him on the ground, and he was kind of facing me. Now, remember I said I had my CERT vest on, not my Venom shirt here. Grandkids like Venom. I like Venom. Spin him around. We go down to the ground, and I kind of have a front shoulder pin, which is like putting him to sleep, but he's got one arm up, and I'm squeezing, and I'm telling the officer, call code, let's get some help here, we'll get him up. Well, everybody knows that the CERT vest, tactical vest, has all these pouches. We had the big can of spray in there. I squeezed him in the top of the can, popped off. I remember I'm a strong man, a power lifter, former. Well, I squeezed hard enough, I guess. Top of that can popped off. I turned my head and that thing shot off right in his face. Yeah, that's the look I had. That's the look he had. So we take the can out of my vest, throw it in the shower there, and put him in another shower cell. Lieutenant comes down, we deal with the use of force. Get him up to, medical came down to check because of tier unit. Everything, he's cleared. Oh, everything's fine. Nobody's hurt. Report, get the CCTV footage. Normal. The thing that's not normal about this, and the reason I'm making this video, talking about a broken correction system. This is the sad thing. Now, on the CERT team, we were very active, cell extractions all the time, a lot of use of forces. But the captain and the lieutenants and some other staff members had a bet how long it would take me, the beast, to be involved in a use of force as a sergeant. And, I interviewed and they talked about, the administrative role, leading shift, helping your lieutenant, et cetera, et cetera. You know how this goes. But when you're a sergeant in a tier unit, you're going to be involved in use of force. But they actually had a bet how many hours it would take on the first day. Well, the inmate did confess to me later that week that it was set up by Captain, I won't say his name. Last name starts the same letter as the word idiot. It was set up by him for him to create a use of force that day, that morning, so he could win the bet. Now, is that some bad management? Is that some bad administrative kind of thing to have your captain, chief of security? Now, he was my former CERT lieutenant. He promoted to captain. And here he goes setting me up so he can win a little bet over me at the expense of me. And then he calls me in and wants to try and chew me out over having this. And I said, I guarantee you set it up and I'll prove it. But that's pretty bad. We still have to deal with the inmates and we still have to protect our people. Yeah, correction system's broken like a popsicle stick 20 times over. Hit the like button, hit the share. Don't forget to subscribe. I've got some unique stories like this I'm going to tell. Very specific things that happen in correction system. This is just one in this corruptness going on down there. Well, everywhere. Thank you. Have a great day and a safe weekend. Happy summer.